I first was thrust into this when my campaign manager, Daniel Hernandez, called me from the ambulance where he was holding Gabby's head in his lap, having just acted in the most selfless way imaginable, running towards the bullets instead of away from them in order to save her life. We found him covered from head to toe in blood in the driveway of the hospital. I went in with the family. We all went in. And my 11-year-old daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, set an example for me that I've been trying to follow since then. Gabby's mom had just arrived and the rest of the family had not. My daughters knelt at her feet and took her hand in theirs. And for the next hour they held hands. And Gloria stroked their hand and looked deeply into their eyes. And they did what they could to help her feel better. What we must all do as leaders now, despite our personal pain, is we must band together and we must make people feel better about what happened, which seems impossible at first because this is such an unspeakable act. But that candlelight vigil that night, after having spent a horrifying day with the family in the hospital, coming out, there was words that came to me that morning that I repeated to the crowd, about 200 or 300 people holding candles. It was beautiful. I said, "You can't stop hope with a bullet." The crowd started chanting and singing that. And the spirit of love and reconciliation was rising above that crowd. There was no anger, calls for revenge. It was everybody, no matter what their beliefs were, coming together and asking for love and reconciliation. And that is the spirit over Tucson right now. Over all of southern Arizona, I think over the entire United States at this point. And I believe that we will move forward from this terrible moment, and we will look back and see that we have crossed a threshold into a new day of politics in which we do not trash one another on either side, where we work together, where we follow in Gabby's model for how you work with people you don't necessarily believe with, where you work with people and understand that we are all working towards a common goal of creating one state, one nation together, making this a better place for everybody. We may not agree with the ways to get there, but we do agree with the goal. And I was so encouraged by the words of Speaker Adams, Majority Leader Tobin, the governor today, because I believe that they will be partners in this goal, and I have pledged to them, and I pledged to the governor today as well. If I have ever said anything hurtful or hateful in spite of my best interests, they would call me on it if I ever do that. I will never say anything hateful or hurtful again about somebody else who I have a disagreement with, because we must break this mold. We must move forward. We can, here in Arizona, show the rest of the nation how to govern in a civil manner and how to work together as a society.